Woohoo, and we're off. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Pull up my chat here real quick so I can see everything. Give everyone a few minutes to jump in here. I know we have a pretty big crowd for today, a little over 1,000 people registered, so excited to see the turnout. Give me a shout out in the chat. Love to hear how you're all doing on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Or, and where you're from. Let me know where you're from. If you're new with Scrivener, if you're an experienced user, I'd love to hear it all. Here, before I get too far, I just realized I forgot to pull up something important. Let me get that important thing pulled up on my notes and things. So we're in the middle of summer here. Ironically, it's not that hot actually in Texas today. It's been rainy, rainy, rainy for a couple months now. It's been kind of like oscillating from between hot and this kind of rainy, cloudy weather. Let's see here. Okay, perfect. Got that pulled up. Play that there. Okay, sorry. I had to get a few things pulled up here. I should have done this before. I might have lost track. Let's see what we got here. Oh wow, so great, wonderful crowd. You can see a lot of people coming in here from all over the world. I'm seeing Spain, Scotland, U.S., Texas. Ooh, someone from Texas here too. That's great. Keith from Tacoma, Washington. So I'm just kind of picking these out as I see them. Christopher says he's hey from an experienced scrivener in Mississippi. Welcome, welcome. That's great. Been using it under for about 10 months. That's great. That's great. Love to see how many people we have, both whether you're an experienced user using it for like 10 plus years, or if you're brand new just using it for the last few months, wherever you're at. Well, I want to meet you where you're at. So that's good. There's gonna be something here for everyone, I think. So looking forward to having sharing this great training with you all today. And Suzanne says, Boston, newest user. UK been using Scrivener for several years. That's great. Now, those of you who have been using Scrivener for several years, how confident do you feel you are in it? And yeah, I guess even those of you who are newer, who are just picking up Scrivener, how are you feeling confident with it? Or are you still like, oh my heavens, I don't know what I'm doing here? 10 years pretty confident. That's good. Not confident at all. Not very confident. And see, I like to see that. I like to see, we get a lot of, we get some people, there are people like me in the world who just like love it. They learn it and they just like, I got this. But they still like to kind of brush up and kind of figure out what's going on with Scrivener and see if there's anything new they may have missed out on. I know a lot. I'm always learning more. And then we have some people who are just like, I don't know where I'm at. I'm just starting out. I just need to get some help. And then we have some people in, that kind of in the middle ground, right? Limited experience, not confident. Handful of years, but there are way more features I could use. Okay, good. I'm getting better at it. I was a long time Word user, but she's way too high now. Yeah. Yep. Word is great in a lot of respects, but for most writing projects, I just find Word to be unwieldy. Not my favorite tool for sure. Fine with small documents, just not great. Been using Scrivener for 10 years, trying to use it more over the last 10 years or so. Basically, I use it as a word processor, need to learn more features. Okay, yeah, yeah, I get that. Well, there's a lot to learn about Scrivener. We're going to cover some core tools today that I use to help me complete and crush my writing goals, so to speak. Okay, let's see here. Ba, ba, ba. So, okay, so I see some people. I have received some emails about the Monday's webinar. What I'm going to recommend you do, it is live on my YouTube channel right now, and we will get that posted to the webinar library next week. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to drop you this link here. You can click that link, go to my YouTube channel. Maybe I can actually find the actual YouTube channel link for you guys. And you can rewatch that there. For those of you who either missed it or want to rewatch that, there you go. There's those links right there for you. You can watch that replay there. It is uploaded. And ready to go for you guys. Let's see here if I'm missing anything else. Okay, before we get started here, you're most welcome, guys. Terry says I use Scrivener to write novels, keep track of my recipes. Haha, actually, I do that too. I have a recipe book in Scrivener as well there, Tara. That's good. Do lesson and unit planning and store my research for my graduate program. I like that. See, that's something that's really cool about Scrivener is that it really is versatile. You can use it for a lot of different things. From novel writing to recipe planning to lesson planning. I mean, it's so versatile. So much you can do. So I love that. Yeah, I think we even correct me if I'm wrong, Ruth. I'm pretty sure we even have a template geared towards recipes. Let me just look that up real quick. I'm pretty sure we do. It's been a minute since I've looked at it, but quote that out and pull it up. But yeah, we should. I think I created my own, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, under miscellaneous, we have a recipe collection there. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. So yeah, check it out. There's a lot of fun things we can do. Now, Lynn is asking, is the session being recorded? Yes, the session is being recorded. It will be available on my YouTube channel within the next 24 hours. And then we post it in our webinar library ad-free next week. So watch out for that. That's coming here shortly. So yeah, we're going to have this all ready to go and good for you. Now, before we get started here, I know we're about 5 minutes up there. I wanted to ask you guys a question more related to the topic today. Let me find my notes real quick. See where they disappeared to. There they are. So I want to ask you guys. Okay. So what motivates you to meet your writing deadlines? And how do you keep that motivation alive? So this is a question I'm genuinely curious about because that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today in terms of like how do we crush our writing goals? So I want to know what motivates you? What keeps you excited to write and to keep writing? And some of you may like, I have no idea. And some of you may have like, this is what I like. So let me hear it. Let's see what we got here. I'm curious. Okay, so if it's a paid project, hey, any project could be a paid project, right? If you get it to the right person, right? Terror or failure, okay. Deadlines, it's the writing itself, an external deadline. I like deadlines. I'm definitely a deadline person myself. I was actually recently given a writing project to do, and they didn't give me a deadline. They said, "Oh, just get it whenever when you get to it whenever you can." And I found that I just kept pushing it off because like they didn't need it anytime soon. I'm like, well, what incentive do I have to get this done, right? And so I just kept pushing it off, pushing it off. And the other day I finally said, you know what? Hey, I just got to get this done. And so I sat down and finished it. And the funny thing is, I had finished most of it. It just needed that last little tick. And because I didn't set that deadline, clear deadline, and they didn't give me a clear deadline, I didn't sit down and actually do it until I just finally said, this is my deadline today. Done. Okay, looking good. When I'm on deadline, I'm seeing a lot of deadline here. I just like telling stories. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. I have a peer group who critique my writing. Oops, I gotta turn those. Oh, I gotta love those. Let's see if I can even turn those off. I always have a problem with that. Reactions off. There we go. Okay, now I can switch that back. Okay. Anyway, so the pressure to make sure it gets done, and I'm the only person writing our family history with great difficulty, fear of failure. I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff here. I'm seeing failure. I'm seeing determination. I'm seeing deadlines, external deadlines, writing my story. Well, the good news, a lot of what we're going to cover today, deadlines in particular, is a core part of what Scrivener helps us do. And I'm going to show you how to set that up and get that ball rolling there. Man, I'm going to have to go through this chat because it looks like there's tons of great material here of what you guys are doing. So this is great. Whatever it is that works for you, we're going to talk about some key tools in Scrivener that help you create goals and then help you crush them and get on board with that. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to jump right into this presentation here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to try to have the chat pulled up here, but it will be a little bit tricky for me, so just bear with me as we go through this together. Okay, make sure everyone can see that. Yep, looks like everyone can. And the only thing I'm missing now is my notes. Okay, here we go, guys. Well, welcome everyone to our May 2025 Scrivener webinar series brought to you by the creative minds behind Scrivener and Scapple, Literature and Latte. I'm Oliver Evanson, your host today, bringing you insights drawn from over 15 years of writing and Scrivener expertise. Now, whether you're just starting your writing adventure, our webinars are designed with your needs in mind. So today we'll be exploring five powerful tools to crush your writing goals in Scrivener. And remember, today we do have a dedicated technical support team agent standing by to help you tackle any technical issues you may run into and to answer your questions throughout the sessions. I do have Ruth here. You may have seen her chit-chatting in the chat already. Thank you, Ruth, for being here today. So if you encounter any issues, please reach out to her in the Q&A. It's a little bit easier than going through the chat, especially when we got so many people here today. So if you could reach out to the Q&A, that'll really help her out. And if you have any questions throughout the session, I'd encourage you to throw them in there as well. That way I can answer them towards the end. Now, for those of you who wish to revisit today's session and share it with your fellow writers, this webinar will be recorded. You can find the replay on my YouTube channel tomorrow and enjoy it ad-free next week in the Literature and Latte webinar library. Those links, I believe I already provided those links, but I'll provide them again as the case may be. Okay, here we go. Now, for those of you who are new and don't know who I am, my name is Oliver Evanson. I'm a writer, editor, mentor with 15 years of Scrivener and writing experience. And I'm so excited to teach you what I have learned in my position as the outreach specialist for Literature and Latte, the creators of Scrivener and Scapple. Now, I absolutely love connecting with other like-minded writers like you. So if you'd like to connect with me, please send me an email, or better yet, join one of my newsletters. I frequently send out valuable tips and techniques to help you become a better writer. And all subscribers receive a free copy of my free starter novel template. So check that out. And if you want to see what I'm working on and what books I'm working on right now in Scrivener, you can subscribe to my author website right there at oliverevanson.substack.com, or go ahead and use that QR code. Okay. Well, now that we're better acquainted, let's spend a few minutes just outlining the schedule for today's session. Now, to start, I'll begin by providing a short introduction to our topic and what you should expect to learn from today's session. After that, we're going to move into the training where I'll cover my 5 Scrivener tools to help you crush your writing goals. Sorry. Let me get a little drink of water real quick. And to wrap it all up, I'll provide you all with a wealth of free resources you can utilize to deepen your understanding of Scrivener and improve your writing skills. I'll also leave ample time for a Q&A at the end where I'll do my best to answer as many of your questions as possible. Okay. Now, there's nothing I hate more than attending a live event and waiting 45 minutes before the presenter gets to his training, if he gets to it all. And that's why I always establish clear expectations for what I promise to teach in each session. So in this webinar, you can expect to learn 5 key skills. First off, I promise to teach you how to establish a draft target and deadline to keep your writing progress on track. How to utilize document targets for a more granular approach to managing your project's progress. How to use the writing history feature in Scrivener to obtain valuable insights into your productivity. How to create, modify, and assign statuses in Scrivener to effectively track your progress scene by scene and chapter by chapter. And last but not least, how to harness the power of statuses and collections for even more efficient organization and progress tracking. And I'm confident by the end of this presentation, you should know how to confidently use these tools to accomplish your specific writing goals. Okay. So first up, our tool number 1 is Scrivener's Project Target tool, which can really transform the way you approach your writing goals. Now imagine having a personal assistant that keeps your goals on track, keeps you motivated, and turns your big ideas into manageable milestones. So it's pretty close to that. That's exactly what the Scrivener's Project Target feature is designed to do. With this tool, you can set draft targets to ensure your word count goals are crystal clear. You can even tie those goals to a deadline with real-time tracking to help you stay on schedule. Want to focus on creating a daily writing habit? The Sessions Target feature right there in the Project Target tool lets you create short-term goals for your writing session, motivating you to hit consistent progress on your preferred writing schedule. Now, instead of just talking about it, let's just jump in and see how this tool works in Scrivener. Here we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and open Scrivener up here. When we first open up, it'll pop up to this screen right here. Oops, let's make that smaller. This is our new project window where we can create a new project. You can see I have a number of templates that I've created myself, but it doesn't matter which template you use. You can go to any and all, see all that you have here, and just choose one that suits your specific needs. Okay. Now for today's session, I'm going to go ahead and use my free starter novel template right here to get it started. And we'll go ahead and call this my first novel. Now, ideally, you want to give your project a clear, specific name, something that's easy to remember, easy to find. But in our case, we're going to go ahead and just start with something simple like that. I'm going to add a 2 because it looks like already I have my first novel right there. So I guess it's my second novel. Why don't we do that? Let's change it to my second novel. And we'll click create right down here. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to pull this over here so I have access to it here. To my notes. Excellent. Okay. So first off, to get to our project targets tool, how do we get there? Now you may notice already that my toolbar up here looks a little bit different than yours. In fact, I've added my targets right there. But to get to it, if you can't see it there, if you don't have that button there, it's really easy to get to. You can go to Project, Show Project Targets, like right there. Okay. If you want to as well, you can also put your mouse right over here over the quick search bar and hold Alt or Option if you're on a Mac or a PC to open it up like that. Okay. So if you're on a Mac, it's going to be the Option key and click. If you're on a PC, it's going to be the Alt key and click, like so, to pull that up. Okay. Alternatively, if you want to, you could also add this button to your toolbar right here. On the Mac, you're going to right click this, click Customize Toolbar. I'm going to pull it off for a second, and we're going to drag and drop that on. Okay. If you're on a PC, it is a little bit different. You're going to want to go to Help. You want to search Customize Toolbar, and you're going to add it in the Customize Toolbar window that pops up there. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate how to do that right here because I'm on a Mac, but it's not too hard. You should be able to figure that out. If you need any help, just let us know. We'll send us an email. We'll get you taken care of. Okay. Okay. So there we go. We got draft target. I'm going to go ahead and click this button again. We're going to go ahead and open it up just like that. Okay. You can see right now there is no draft target here at all. It's 0 of 0 words. So how do I go ahead and set this draft target? How do I set this manuscript target goal, whatever you want to call it here? It's really easy. I click there. I hit backspace. I'm going to type in a word goal. Now, just on average, how many words do you guys typically write for, let's say, your typical manuscript? Now, it's going to vary depending on what your project is, but I'm just curious if anyone has an amount they do. Okay, about 85,000, 100,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000, 75,000. Okay, yep. Yep. So I'm seeing, lowest I'm seeing about 60, 85 to 100K. Okay, good. We're gonna kind of round it off at, let's do 90K. Let's do 90,000. Oops, I got the wrong one selected. Let's click here. 90,000 words. Okay. Now you can type in anything you want here. I got 100,000. There we go. Once I hit enter, it adds in that little comma there. I can see what it is if I have 0 of 90,000 words here so far. Okay. Excellent. That's a great question. Gian, I'm seeing. So Gian is asking, every time I have to reset the target for every novel, can it be included as part of my template? Yes. So you can create a template. Like, let me show you, for example, here. You could create a template from this. You could set it up, whatever your common target is, and then save that as a template right here. And it should store those settings when you move into the next thing. Okay. I specifically didn't store one because I wanted everyone to have the option to choose what their word count is. But it might be something you want to do yourself for your own template, because typically that's how many words you typically write. For everyone, it's anyone's guess what their project may call for, right? So we'll do that 90,000 words right there. And by changing that alone, we have updated and set our targets there. Let's see if I can pull this over here. There we go. Good. Let's see. Okay. Now that we have a goal for our manuscript, how do we set a deadline? Okay, that's a good question. We're going to come down here and we're going to click the options button right here to customize the targets. This will pull up this window here. You can see right there, there's a little box that says deadline. I can check that box right there and then set a deadline. So on average, how long do you think it takes for you to finish a 90,000 word project? Or like, how long would you like it to take you? Let's say it like that. How long would you like to take to write a 90,000 word novel, for example? Let me see if I can find the chat again. There it is. Okay, 3 to 6 months, 4 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months. Okay, should we let's look 10 years. Let's not do 10 years, Rebecca. We want to get this done with it before it's been a decade, right? Bit too long. I just choose 95K on an existing project, and that says I have 64K. Ooh, that's progress bar, satisfying. Oh, I agree, Nicole. Oh, I agree 100%. I love seeing that bar just like slowly go up. It's great. Vivian, let's that's if you're having trouble finding that, it is on the Windows version. You should be able to find it. Why don't you just put a question in the Q&A and see maybe if Ruth can help you figure that out. If we can't figure it out today, send us an email. We'll get you taken care of. But we got a deadline set there. I'm gonna be conservative. Ideally, ideally we want to get our drafts done relatively quicker. In fact, I think it's concerning when I see we've all done it where we spend years and years and years and years and years and years on a single book. There may be some artistic reason, maybe we might want to do that, I guess, but realistically, in today's world, we want to get things done a bit quicker than that. So I'm gonna go. Let's be generous with ourselves. I'm gonna give us 6 months. Okay, I think that's half a year. It's more than reasonable. Even if you want, you could do less, right? Let's see here. We're at May, so May from now, we're almost to June, so we're looking at December, thereabout. Let's say December 28th, 2025. And what I'm doing, I'm just typing that in. Okay, you can push up or down like so, like that. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and also turn on show target notifications. If you like to receive notifications, turn those on. Bear in mind that if you're on a Mac particularly, sometimes those notifications get blocked by focuses and other different settings, notification settings on your Mac. So you may have to fiddle with your Mac settings to get these to show up. I know I've had some problem with that myself. But typically you can just check that box and those notifications should pop up anytime you get to, you reach a goal. Okay. But either way, you should still be able to see how many words you've got in that progress bar moving up here. So we've got deadline, show target notifications. We're going to go ahead and click OK now. Okay. So now we have a deadline, right? December 28th, 2025. So those of you who are deadline oriented, there it is right there. You've got 214 days to finish this 90,000 word or 90K word draft here, right? Now, the one thing it doesn't do is it doesn't tell us how many words we need to write between now and then. So there's a couple ways you can handle this. Now, typically, I try to write on average about 750 words per writing day. It's just a personal goal of mine. I like to write that amount of words. I feel like I sometimes write more, I sometimes write less. But for me, when I hit that 750, I'm happy. I feel like I've achieved my win for the day, okay, for my writing days. But if I do more, great. If I do less, I'm also still happy that I wrote, okay? It's all a matter of preference here. Okay. Now I could do that, and the session bar will fill up as I write throughout the session, and it'll also fill up here in the draft target here. So let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna go ahead and change this to the Phantom Lord Saga, so we can see this a little different. You can see change that now. Okay. And we're gonna open this up. Book 1. Now you could do this as a series. You could do this as a single manuscript. The choice is yours. This specific template is set up as a series, but that's okay. And we can start writing. All right, so you can see as I'm writing, you can already see that progress bar is starting to tick up. We got 5 words there, so out of 750, 5 words out of 90,000 words. And already I'm making progress. If I put my mouse, hover it up here in the quick search, I can see those same stats as well. And you'll also notice over time, you can't really see it right now, but there is a tiny little progress bar in the quick search here. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's make this a little bit longer. You can see, oh, there we go. That progress bar is filling up, okay? And what's happening here is it's actually showing the session target here, it looks like first, okay? Ooh, there it goes. And we can see that moving up there. Oh, moving up there. Looking good. Moving. Oh, I love that. Isn't that so satisfying to watch that progress bar just go up? Boom. We've exceeded our target here, okay? So once I've exceeded my target, I could just click this reset button. It doesn't reset the draft target, obviously, but it does reset my session target, and I can keep going, right? If I want to hit that 750 again, right? Within the same day. Now, this may make sense for some people who just want to have a daily target. You're just trying to build that habit every day, trying to hit that session target every day, every day, every day. It could be something kind of lower like this. It could be something higher. Totally up to you. Whatever, I encourage you to do whatever makes sense for you. You don't want to do too much that it's like, oh, you can never reach it. But neither do you want to do too little when it's really, really difficult to get to. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now you can see the green bar there. That's our session target. And the blue bar up here at the top, that's our draft target. We have about 2,695 words now out of 90,000 and the 1,715 of 750. Way, way overboard. Okay. Now, this is the more manual approach to do this. We can actually approach this with a more automatic method. Let's take a look at how that might work. I'm going to go to options again. We're going to go to session target here. And we're going to click this little box here that says automatically calculate from draft deadline. And I like this because it automatically calculates how many words you need to write. And if you miss a day, it's going to update that word count. If you go ahead a day, it's going to update that word count. If you maintain the course, it's going to keep consistently uh, with how many words you need to write every day. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click this right here. If you do nothing, if you don't add any writing days here, it's going to assume that you write every day. But typically, I don't write every day. Let me know, guys, what days of the week do you guys normally write? Are you writing every day? Are you writing once a week? Are you writing a couple times a week? What's your writing schedule look like? 3 days a week, okay, Monday through Fridays, Tuesdays through Thursdays. I write 6 days per week. Okay, good. 2 to 3 times per week. Some days, Monday through Saturdays, Sundays off. I like that. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day. I'm seeing a lot of three. I write every day, and I see a lot of every days, like Monday through Friday. That's good. So wherever you're at, I want it to be clear here that it doesn't matter what your writing routine is. If you're starting smaller, great. That's great. Do you. Do what works for you and then kind of work towards building a bigger habit, right? If you can. But whatever you do, just do what works for you. So I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we're just going to do those 3 days. And I'm also going to allow writing on the day of the deadline. I'm always like working right up to that deadline. That's just me. You don't have to do that. You can turn that off so you don't have to. It doesn't include the deadline day, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Um, we'll click OK. The reason why you might want to turn that off is maybe it's actually due. Maybe somebody actually needs to receive that manuscript in that day, and you may want to spend that day getting it ready for them, to send to that person, as the case may be, right? We'll click OK. There we go. Okay, look at it now. So now this has changed. It's no longer that 750 word target anymore. In fact, if I try to change it, it won't let me. Okay, it's not going to let me change that because it's calculating how many days left I have between now and December 28th, 2025. Now, if you notice, it says 92 days. Remember how it used to say 214? Well, that changed because I told scripters that I can only write on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays now, and it's calculating that out for me. Let's go ahead and reset this and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm looking at about 948 words a day. That's about, if I can do my math right, 750 minus 948. That's about 198 words than what I was planning to do. Okay, so I could either keep that and say that's my new goal. I'm going to write that 948 words every day, or I can adjust that to make it fit me better. Right? Maybe I pick up an extra day. I'm gonna write a Thursday too. Oops, yeah, look at that. That puts me right at my sweet spot if I just add one more day of writing. Okay, let's say I can't add that one more day of writing. Okay, and let's say instead I have to move my deadline out. I have that flexibility. Let's move it out to first. Yeah, let's move it out a month. Let's see. Oops, wrong direction. There we go. 2026. Okay, 823 words. So this you can kind of fiddle around with it until you kind of get the amount of time you need. You might say, like, if you really wanted that 750 words, I might need to go further. Okay, yep. So I could change my deadline to February 28th, 2026. I could add an extra day of writing and reduce that. It depends on what my writing goal is, right? May also depend on how many words I have, right? Already written. Now, one thing that's really cool about this is that if I write extra, let's say, let's duplicate this. Okay. If I write extra, it's going to reduce this. See how that changed automatically? And if I have less, say I don't write a day or something, right? I forget to write or something, it is going to automatically adjust that for me as it comes. Let's see here if I can maybe close that out. There we go. Yep, 756, right? So actually, if I was starting from scratch and I wanted to be done, I wanted to get that 90,000 words by at 750 words, give or take per day, right? Then this would be an ideal schedule for me. I can look and see, I can do that. Like I know from experience that I write about 750 words a day. I know that's a reasonable goal. Is it a stretch goal? Probably not, but it is a reasonable goal. If I want to stretch myself, of course, I can make changes to that, update it, and do whatever I need to do. Now, typically, just so you know, my schedule, I write typically Monday through Friday, something like this. So actually, I could do a lot better than this. And so let's go a little crazy here. I'm going to say I want to have this done by the end of September 30th, 2025. Okay. So I have to write about 1,000 words per day. I have 90 days to write. 90,000 words. Yep, that makes sense. 1,000 words per day. I can reach that target. That's a nice, clean number to work towards. But you see how you can kind of mess around with this just to get that key, that goal that makes sense for you. Now, once I set it up, I try my hardest not to adjust it. I do make adjustments every now and again. If it's clearly not working, I'll make an adjustment. But otherwise, I really try to keep to this and just stick with it and keep moving forward. Even if I miss a day or fall short, or and I try to make up time and work ahead a little bit, maybe the next day or something like that. But this is a great way to get your target set up, ready to go, and kind of build that writing habit. Okay, so looking good. We've talked about the reset point. We've talked about calculating based on writing deadline, draft targets, etc. The only thing we haven't talked about is overrun. You can show overrun here for the draft target. So if you go over a certain amount, Scrivener will notify you and let you know, hey, you've gone over. If you give yourself an allowance, so I give myself an 1,000 word allowance, it means I can go over 90,000 words. I can go over 1,000 before Scrivener will warn me. It'll warn me, say, hey, you've gone over, and I can go up to 91,000 in this case, and still be within my target, right? Within my limit, right? If you don't have any allowance, if the allowance is 0, once you reach that 90K, it's going to say, hey, you've gone too far, and your progress bar is going to start turning red. Now, this is really for those of you who want to keep to a specific amount. In fact, kind of going back to our Monday webinar, this might make more sense for people who are writing short stories and you want to keep your draft or your short story short, right? We're trying to keep it under 5,000 words, for example. So maybe you want to be aware that you're going over. Now, to be honest, I don't use overrun that much because in fantasy, typically longer is better. I'm really concerned about writing too much. I usually write too much and then just pare it back later. So it's going to be your choice there. Okay. Here we go. Let me switch back over here. Okay. Okay, see that? Let me check and see real quick. Yep, looks good. Okay, so next up, tool number 2 is document targets. So unlike project targets tool, the document targets tool allows us to take a more granular approach to how we track our writing goals. So project target tools kind of focus on the big picture. Okay, document targets focus on the individual chapters and scenes. And so this really kind of helps you kind of celebrate small wins, help you maintain motivation and stay dedicated to your writing goals. And when you pair these with document templates, your setup becomes quicker and a lot less stressful. I really like these. Let me pull that up. So I'm going to show you how to set those up, how to use chapter and scene templates, and we'll kind of look at some of the benefits of those, of how these document targets work. Personally, I like to see, like, it gives me kind of an idea too of how long my draft is going to be, and how, like, I can look at how many documents I have, how many chapters I have, and kind of get a general idea of where I should end up. Does my project target, my actual target for the draft, match up with what my document targets are kind of estimating there? Okay. So let's go ahead and switch back real quick. Okay. So we're going to look at chapter templates here. Okay. So in this case, you can see in the starter novel template, I already have some templates and things set up. But let's look real quick at just the default novel template, just so you have an idea of what we're looking at, generally what this looks like. So I'm just going to create a new one. We're just call it novel. Get this a little bit bigger. Move some zoom stuff out of the way here. Let's look at this chapter and scene. So you can see right now, it's 0 words, right? There's no target set. This is where we set the document target. I can click this button right here, and I can set a document target, let's say, of 1,000, 1,500 words. Okay. My minimum target, I'm going to set that as 750. I'm not going to worry about overrun. You can mess with that if you want to. It's the same idea as before. It'll tell you if you go over your target of 1,500 words. You can give yourself an allowance. Okay, you can show that allowance. You can show the overrun if you want. That's all fun stuff. You can also turn on target notifications if you want to. Click OK. There we go. Now you can see here at the bottom, we have a 0 out of 1,500 words anticipated for this specific scene here. Now, to be honest with you, this is kind of an arbitrary number I use. I find that most of my scenes are anywhere from 750 words to that 1,500 word range. Sometimes I'll do 1,250. So really, there's no right or wrong answer here. You just kind of have to choose a target that you think you consistently write towards for a scene. Okay. Like I said, mine's typically between 750 and 1,500, sometimes right there in the middle, about that 12,000, 1,250. And we might look at that in a second in one of my projects here. But see, that's how we would set that up. If we want to change it, there's a little progress bar right here. I can click that. Okay. It's right there to double click that to change that. Let's see. We can fill it up. You see, there we go. That's starting to fill up there at the bottom. 75 out of 1,500 words. Okay, there we go. Looking good. You can see the progress bar filling up over here too. Okay. Now, in this case, it may make sense that you may meet a scene target here, right? But you may not meet your target session target, or vice versa. You may hit your session target, but you may not hit your scene target. Okay. So it gives you a different way of looking at it. Sometimes if I'm working towards a scene target like this of 1,500 words, and I'm like, oh, I'm still not there yet, but I can see, hey, I met my session target today. I wrote how many words I needed to write, but even though I didn't quite get to where I need to go here, or maybe I reached my session target goal here, my document target goal here, but I didn't meet my session target goal here. It just gives me a couple of different ways of kind of, psychologically look at this like, hey, I'm making progress one way or the other. I'm finishing a scene or a chapter, or I'm meeting a session target or a manuscript target. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see that's starting to fill up. Ooh, it's getting more and more and more. I just love seeing these progress bars go up. So it changes from red to blue here. And once we get to a certain, it's starting to transition to green, getting closer to that 1,500. There it is, green. And there we go. Now we're at our 1,500 words. Boom. Now, normally, right there when I hit this, it should have given me a notification. But like I said, I have all my notifications kind of turned off and messed up because of Zoom and everything else going on today. But it would give you a little notification right here at the top right corner. It would pop up and say, congratulations, you met your goal. And you'd be good to go there. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Now, one thing is anytime you create a chapter or scene or a new document, you can come here like this, right? And I have to come down here, change this, reset it every single time. Now, if you know me, I don't like repeating myself, like redoing work over and over and over again. And that's why I created this little template right here so I could just have a template that already has it set up for me. And you can see the scene template here has a target already set, 750 words, a scene template here for 1,250 words. That way I can choose between them. And what I can do is I can literally go here, click, and under Act 1, Chapter Template here, I can come here, go to Add, click the little arrow, and select the chapter template just like this. Boom. And there we go. Now I've got a folder, chapter folder, with a scene with a target of 750 words and a scene target of 1,250 words. Let's say I didn't want to get the whole chapter, right? I just want one of the scenes. That's fine too. Let's go ahead and just create a new chapter here. I'm just going to call it chapter. Then you go to click the arrow, click add. I can just click the one I want. Boom, like that. Now I have it just like there. Now, how did I set this up? It is surprisingly easy, okay? All you have to do is open the template sheets here and create a template that has that feature added to it. So let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead and come to the novel template right here. Okay, so if you're using the novel template, you already have a template sheet set up right there. Okay, if you don't have this folder set up, I can show you how to create that. It's pretty easy to do, but for now, I'm going to assume you have it. If that's something you want to cover at the end, let me know in the Q&A. Okay, but I'm going to assume you already have a template sheets folder pulled up here. And what I'm going to do is inside this special folder, I'm going to click my new folder button here. I'm going to call it a chapter template. Okay. Then I'm going to click let's see here, the plus button right there. I'm going to call this a scene template. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the target for this scene template. So I could do this let's do it as 1,500 words this time. We'll do a minimum target of 700. Whatever makes sense to you. You could do the overrun allowance, all that stuff. You can turn it on or off notifications if you want to. Just bear in mind, whatever you set here, that's going to be the preset for your template going forward. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and save myself some more time. and just duplicate this and go ahead and double click this right here now. There we go. And we're going to change this one to 700 words and a minimum target of 250. Okay. Okay. And to differentiate these, I'm going to also just type in here target 700, right? And this one, target, there we go. Is it 1500, right? 1500, like that. Okay. Make this really simple like this. Now, you could do it just like that. You could also just have a folder called scene templates like this, and then just have a variety of different types of templates with different, what do you call it? Different targets, right? So I could come here, this, and we're going to go ahead and duplicate, right click, duplicate. I'll change this one to 250. Bear in mind, I didn't actually change the target yet. This is just a visual reminder. I'll have to come here and make that change. And we'll just do a 0 target here, like so. And then I could do this again, duplicate, 1250, like so. Make sure I actually come and make the change. We'll do 750. Oops, didn't actually change it. Just got the minimum target changed, and we'll change that to 1250, like so. Okay, and this way, by just doing that simple little change, I can come here now. I could access all my scene templates I've made right like this, right? And all my chapter templates. And of course, you can add in more here if you want. It looks like I accidentally added the whole folder of scene templates here. That's trash. But you could add in more information if there's something, if you have more to add to your scene template, something, a starter or something, or some, some motivational advice you want to add here, you could simply do that. But typically, I just need a blank document with a target set. And so this is already set up. If you want in my free starter novel template, you don't have to do all this work if you don't want to, but I did want to show you how easy that is to do. It's not hard to do at all. You could do that right in here and create yourself. You can even come in here and create your or add to or modify these existing templates as it occurs inside of this start out template I've created. Excuse me while I get a drink of water real quick. Okay. So personally, I love this. I hate repeating myself. I hate having to do the same thing over and over again. And this makes it really easy to create these templates and kind of get them all set up and ready to go. One thing that's really cool about this is you can come to your outliner here. You can add in your, I think it's your total target and your total progress here. You can kind of see how things are moving along. Okay. I don't know if I have, do we not have something going on here? Oh, not in these ones. Let me put it, let's put back one of these scene templates here. There we go. Like so. And to make these really clear, of course, you want to give these really good names. Okay, I'll demonstrate. I'll show you my live project in a second. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to do scene 1, scene 2, and scene 3. Okay. 3. And we're going to go back to our outliner view. And there we go. We can see that total progress. We've met the goals here. We may also want to add here the total word count. So we're well above target in both of these ones here, like to the point where if we had overrun turned on, we'd see, okay, we've gone way a little too far. But overall, it gives us an idea of what that progress is. Let's come back here. Let's delete some of this so we can kind of see some variety here. Like so. Yeah, there we go. You see, okay, there we go. This is 555 words now, right? That's scene 1. This is 2,695 words out of 750 word target, right? And then we have nothing in this one. So it kind of gives us an idea of what we're looking at. This is how I like to set this up in the outliner. And I can visually see my progress. I really like that. Let's look real quick at my live project, a project I've been working on myself, kind of see how this looks like in a real project here. So we'll go here, go to the outliner. Let's turn off a few things. We'll turn off the synopsis. There we go. And we'll add in those total progress and total targets. And let's get the total word count. Where is that? Total word count. There we go. Okay. So this is the act. Oh, and that's the character count. I didn't want the character count. There we go. So you can kind of see how this ended up. So we can see all my progress is complete for all of these, with the exception, it looks like I was a little short on the ink home one compared to my target. You can actually see it visually in the progress bar, and you can see it actually in the word counts here. So this is 2,705 words out of my anticipated target, about 2,500. So I went a little bit over. This might be where might be nice to have that overrun turned on so I could see where I've exceeded my targets a little bit, right? We have 17,000 words, 16,000 word target. And so just so you know, I made these targets before I actually wrote them. So you can see I was actually pretty close. In most cases, because I'm writing fantasy and whatever else, I typically go a little over what I plan. In this case, I went a little under here. But yeah, it's just really nice to be able to see that. We can open it up and kind of look at these individually. See, I was a little short on this chapter here. All right. Let's open up part two. Yep. Kind of hit all those just right. And so we can kind of see how that kind of comes out. In some cases, I'm a little short, some cases, I'm a little high. The point isn't to hit the target exactly. It's just to give me a kind of like a something to move towards, something to hit if I can. Okay, so there we go. Let's switch back to the presentation. We got 3 more tools left to cover. Let me see how we're doing on time. Yeah, we're doing great on time. So I'm going to cover these last 3 tools and we'll get ball rolling here. Okay. So that was document targets. Here we go. Now, next up is a really, really cool tool that kind of brings your progress to life. And this is Scrivener's writing history. This is a new feature that came with Scrivener 3 back when it was released. It's been ages now, but it feels just like the other day to me. It doesn't just track your daily word count, it gives you a crystal clear view of your progress on a project by project basis. So if you want to see exactly how much ground you've covered on that novel, essay, screenplay, whatever the project is, this tool makes it really easy to see your achievements and keep you motivated, and also help you make some key decisions as to maybe what you need to do to improve or to get closer to getting this project done. Now, Scrivener's writing history lets you break down your productivity with precision. You can see how many days you've spent on the project, track your average number of words per day, and review your word count trends on a daily or monthly basis. It's really a simple, powerful way to get a clear picture of your progress and make smarter decisions about your time and energy. But why talk about it when I can show you about it? Let's jump in and see how this awesome tool works. Okay. So fortunately, we're right back into my project. Writing history doesn't look like much if you're with a brand new project, to be frank. If we come here right now to this starter novel template and we go to project, writing history, we're going to see I've written for 1 day. Yes. Hey, that's an achievement. Okay. Don't knock my 1 day. That's an achievement. If you're just starting out, it's great. I've written 555 words in draft, 0 elsewhere, and total for 555 words. You can see it's broken up by months and days, where I've written in draft, elsewhere, 0 total. My session target is 1,000. My draft total is such and such, right? So it kind of lets me know where I'm at. I can do this in words. I can do this in characters. Personally, I don't know who does it in characters. I always do it in words. I can do months only. I can do days only. Okay. So there's not much to see here, right? But if we go to my active projects that I've been working on for years now, too many years, if you ask me, you can see, you can see what I've been doing and how long I've been working on this thing. So let's go to project, writing history, right there. Okay. You can do this for any project you've made in Scrivener. Okay. So those of you who are longtime users, feel free to pull this up and use it. Okay. We're going to show the history in words. You can see how many writing days. So I'm coming to almost a year of writing days. Now, bear in mind, just because it's been a year of writing days doesn't mean that it's been a year of work. I mean, it has been, but it's been a year. It's been 356 days over the last like 5 years. Okay. Because I didn't write every day. So you can see here right now I have in draft about 796 words written per day. So you can see I'm hitting my average. It's typically what I write per day, about that 750 up to almost 800 it looks like. Elsewhere in the project, I'm writing about 389, so that means I'm contributing in. I don't typically count those because sometimes I'm copying and pasting text from the internet into my research folder and things like that. I don't consider that as written so much; it's just gathering information. But you can see I'm bringing into my project an extra 389 words outside of the draft. That totals up to about 1,184 words per day. Okay, over the last 365 days or 358 days. Now, right now, I'm looking at months only. I haven't done much in May this month. We've been mostly focusing on revisions and things like that. Haven't been working on it. But April, we had about once same kind of thing. March, we did a lot of I did a lot of writing in that month. February, a lot of writing. February, not so much. You can see some months I did really well, and other months not so much. And I can kind of look. I can select a month and I can see what I've even done in that month. So I did. I only wrote 5 times in this project in November. Only 5 times in December, but less by far. Let's look at March. So I wrote 11 days and in draft about 21,650 words, elsewhere about 5,320, right? For that total there. And so you can see sometimes I tend to write in spurts. Like I just get into the zone. I just write. Sometimes it's more structured or I'm just writing consistently. Also, this also isn't the full picture of everything I do too, because I do a lot of writing on Substack and elsewhere. So this is just for this project. I do consistently write every day. It's just not always in this project, if that makes sense. So we can change this to the minimum in a day, the maximum in a day. How many? So this is maximum a day words written. This is average per day, and this is minimum per day. And we can look at those numbers, and you can get some ideas of what you're writing and how your process is looking in kind of this uh, technical way, right? We can also switch this from months and days to literally see those days. So we can see April 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, right? If I click this, yep, 6 written days. Okay, and we removed quite a bit there. Looks like. March, I had 11 days. You can see all 11 days there. I can even see the dates themselves, the actual dates themselves, and when I wrote those days. Only thing that I think would be cooler if I had the times too. I'd love to, if I had the exact time I wrote to know it. But that's honestly, this is more than enough. I don't really need the time. But it would be nice to say, hey, look, I do write every day at 11 a.m. Monday, almost every day there. Yeah. So there we go. A lot of fun stuff you can do there. You can even just switch it to the days only and just see the days themselves all the way back to the beginning of the project. You see this project started back in 2020, and even that's a bit of a misnomer because this project didn't originate directly in Scrivener. It did start outside of Scrivener at one point. It was a collaborative project, and I did bring it into Scrivener as I started to take it more seriously. Okay, and now here I am, 5 years later. Almost done with it. So this is actually this book right here. If you're curious about it, is I have been posting it on Substack. So if you want to get a sneak peek at what it's all about and how it works and what it is, check out my Substack at Oliver. I think it's Oliver Evanson at Substack.com. So check that out and you can read some of it. Anyway, so there we go. That's that. That's the writing history. Really easy to get to. Let me just show you one more time. We're gonna go to project, writing history. It's gonna pull that up and you can mess with these settings out. One cool thing too, you can export this out into a spreadsheet. Okay. Let's see, export the months. You can include which columns you want to include and stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and click. Let's just set it to the desktop real quick so you can kind of get a picture of what that looks like. It is a CSV file. Okay, not an Excel file or something like that, but it can be opened up in Excel or Numbers or any probably spreadsheet. You'll probably want to save it. Oops, this did open up Excel. I don't actually have I have it installed, but I don't actually use Excel anymore. Let's open it up in Numbers and see what it looks like there. Oh, yeah, since it looks something like this. And we can adjust what comes in and what doesn't, right? This is on a daily basis. Yep. And depending on what you have selected, it may look a little different. So if we had selected months only and exported that out, let's look at that. Let's do writing history months. Just give it a different name. Let's look at the months one. Is this it right here? I think. Yeah, this one's months. I think. Let's double check it. Nope, it's not. I can't tell the difference. Okay, let's open them both with numbers here. It's been a while. There we go. Yeah, but you can mess around with that. I'm not going to spend too much time with it, but you can kind of adjust what comes out there. Might want to just remove some of these columns here to make it look a little bit different. There we go. So you can do just months only. You can do just days only. However you want to do that, the option is right there. Okay. So that's our writing history. So check that out. It's a really great tool, especially if you have some backlog and you want to see what your kind of your trends are and what you're working on and how you've been progressing and doing things. Okay. Okay, just a couple more tools here. Some of my favorites coming up. So next up, we have Scrivener's built-in status list. And this is really perfect for keeping your writing progress organized by status with customizable options like first draft, to-do, final draft, etc. You could even change it to your own specific statuses and custom statuses that you like. Really doesn't, it's all up to you. I'll show you how to do that. Personally, my favorite way to use statuses is in the outliner. It's really easy to view, assign, and sort statuses there, giving you a lot of control over your writing process and keeping things organized as to where you're at and what you're doing. You can even color code your statuses if you want to. You could switch it from the status list into like labels and use labels as a status instead, or even keywords if you want to add even more clarity to make it more visual if you're more of a visual person. But it's really easy to do. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just go to the next one as well. And we'll just do these last two tools together. And this final tool for Scriveners today is collections. This is a simple yet powerful tool that can help you streamline your writing process and achieve your goals. I love collections. It's such an underrated tool. With collections, you can group specific documents or chapters that share the same status, making it really easy to see which chapters or scenes require your attention. Now, there are two types of collections you can create. Each can be tailored to your specific needs. Now, the first one is static collections. And here you just literally manually add documents to your collection. That gives you full control over what's included in that collection of documents. Okay. Now, I think you can guess which one is my favorite. I prefer dynamic collections. These are automated, pulling in documents or folder that match a specific criteria, such as a designated label or status or keyword that you have assigned. This ensures that your collection updates automatically as you assign statuses, labels, and keywords. So let's see how these two tools can work in tandem together. There we go. Okay, close that up. Excellent. Okay, so first off, we're going to start with statuses. Okay, now the status list is right here in the bottom left corner. Let's go ahead and make this smaller. And we're going to click OK. Let's just look at the starter novel template and see what we have here. We have a to-do, we have in progress, first draft, revised draft, final draft, and done. This is honestly the stock settings. So you can see here there is a edit button here. I can come here. I can change this to whatever I want. So we can do no status, to do, in progress, first draft, revised draft, final draft, done. Right. Now another thing I like to do with my chapter templates is assign a status. Okay. So for now, I'm going to leave that alone. Okay. Come back to my chapter template here. And I'm going to go ahead and look this up. And you can see I've already done it here. To do has been assigned. If I come to each of these, to do, they've all been assigned here. So that when I come here and create a new chapter template, and I pull up a status, you can see right there already my status is assigned like so. Okay. So let me show you this. Let's create a new chapter template. Boom. You can see, and this is we'll just call this one the new chapter so we can see that. Got caps lock turned on. New chapter. Let's click Act 1. I'm in the outliner view in case you're wondering. If you want to get there, you can click this button right here or go to View Outline. And there we go right there. There's our status. Okay. The new chapter. See how it already has that. If I just come here and create a new folder called chapter, you can see it didn't assign status automatically. I'll have to come here and manually change that. Now, to be fair, in the outliner view, this is really easy to do. That's why I like the outliner view. I can come here, quickly change these to whatever I want them to be. Really, really easy to do. Okay. Okay. But I like having that set up in the chapter template so it kind of happens automatically. I don't have to think about it. Okay. It's just one of those things I did. It's not on my mind. Only time I have to come here, the to is already set up. Anytime I create a new chapter, all I have to do now is come to my status here and excuse me, make a change when there's an update that needs to be made. So if this to do has now been done, right? I can come here and say, oh, it's in progress, or I can say, oh, it's in first draft mode now as well. Okay, make those changes right here in the outliner. Let's see here. Boom. Okay, good. Project sync status list. Okay, perfect. So really easy to do. If you're missing this status section here, really easy to come and add it. It's a little arrow right here. You can come here, click that, and check or uncheck it if it's not there. You may need to move it around wherever you want to. I kind of like to have it here at the edge so I can kind of see what's I'm working on and what needs to be worked on. I can also come here. I can right click, do the same thing. There's status right there. I can check it and uncheck it. Once again, if I move it off, I'm going to have to move it back to wherever I want to. But it's really easy to do. Just drag it wherever, whichever column you want, wherever you want it to go. Okay, really easy to do. Okay, let's see here. Now, alternatively, if I want a color assigned to my status here, I could switch it over and use labels instead. And you can see I've actually already got one set up here as well. To do, we'll just leave that alone. We'll delete the red one. Yellow could be in progress. It's pretty typical. Blue could be first draft, right? And green could be done or final draft, as the case may be. We'll just get rid of purple. We'll call it purple scrapped. So it's been deleted. No longer part of the story, right? Something like that. So you could do something just like this, okay? So instead of using the status here, I'll turn that off. Boom, and we'll just use the label instead. And click that. And so that's to do, in progress, first draft, done, final draft, or scrapped, right? And so you can see that visually now. It adds a little bit of color. There are a lot of fun things you can do with labels. I'll just show you a couple real quick. We can use label color in the outliner rows. Brightens that up quite a bit. It's a bit too rainbowy for me. I'm gonna turn that one off. I like using it in the icons. Okay. You can see that in the icons right there now. Okay. Now, if I'm going to do this, whatever you decide to do, there's no right or wrong way here. The main thing I would do is make sure if you're using labels as status, once again, we're going to apply them in our template here, right? We're going to use that in our templates. So those are all going to be to do like so. Let's see here. Did I miss? Right click, label, to do, and now I can see that. And so when I come here and I make a new chapter, you can see I can see the red there. I can see all that red there. It means those are all to-dos, right? And I can visually know that's what that means just by looking at the color. Okay. So there's either way is fine. Just do what makes sense for you. Alternatively, I could also use keywords here. I could just create a keyword called to do, right? I could create a keyword called in progress, right? All the way down through them. And then I could just drag and drop and assign a keyword to each of these like that. I could do the same thing here. The nice thing about keywords is that you can have multiple keywords applied to a document, whereas for a label or a status list, you can only have one setting at a time. So for me, keywords is great if you need to add more than one label to a document. I don't see myself needing to do like a to do and in progress at the same time. Maybe, I guess that would be the one that makes the most sense. It could still be to do and still be in progress. But for me, keeping it as a label or as a status list is just fine. Okay. The keyword's kind of like an extra step if I want to use labels or status lists for something else. Okay, looking good here. That's the only thing I'm missing here. We talked about stats with color, labels, and keywords, assigning those up. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to talk about why I use labels and how I use collections with statuses and labels and things like that. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to go ahead and open up our collections. We're going to click View, Show Collections. If that's not showing up, if you don't have that, you can just search Collections. If I can spell it in the search bar there. And now, right now it says hide collections, but if I had gone here before, it would say show collections right there. Okay. To pull up this little thing right here. Okay, like so. Now I can create a static collection just by clicking the plus button right here. Let's just call this to do static. Okay. And so I literally could just come here now and just say, okay, this is to do, this is to do. And if let's change these names to the, so we can see it better. The rising sun. And this is the falling moon, we'll say. Right? Okay. No, we can see those are right there assigned to it. It looks like I accidentally added this guy too. Go ahead. Yeah, I guess that's inside of the document. We'll go ahead and delete it. Okay. Like so. So those have been added in there. I had to manually drag and drop them in like so. Okay. It didn't add any of these things in there. It just added those folders. Okay. So that's a static list. We just drag, drop, and it appears there. Okay. So nice thing about this is it gives you more control as to what goes into that collection, right? You literally drag and drop it in there. Now, I like things that take less, that ultimately will require less work on my side, kind of make things simpler for me. And that's why I like to create a dynamic list. And let me show you how that works. We'll click the search bar right here. And we're going to click this little spyglass. And so we're going to select our search criteria. Now, in this case, we're going to use label or status. If I'm using labels for my statuses, I'm going to click that one. If I'm using status, the status list, I'm going to click the status. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use the status list here. We are going to look for the exact phrase, not just any word or all words. We're going to look for the exact phrase. And we're going to search for to do. Like so. Okay. Now, everything in my binder that has the to-do status list assigned is going to pop up here now. Okay. And what I can do from here, I can click the spyglass again, and I can click Save Search as Collection. Okay. And I'm going to call this to-do dynamic to keep them separate. And so you can see anytime I come in here and I add in a to-do from that. So let's go to, yeah, this is scene 3. Let's change all these. Select them all. Right click. Status. To do. They're going to pop up here now. There they are. Scene 1, 2, and 3. So I love this because now I can just, anytime I assign a status like this, let's go here. And let's go to, I could do this. Yeah. Let's go back to the statuses here. Where did you go? There you are. So anytime I come here and assign a status or I change a status, it's going to automatically update that for me. Okay. So all the acts here should all have now disappeared from my to-do list here. Let's see. Okay. They're down there. That is one thing I forgot to do. They're down here in the template sheets. You may have noticed we go there. It has a little T there next to it. These are all templates. If you want to make sure your templates aren't included, we'll just have it search the Phantom Lord Saga only. Okay. Only downside of that is it's only look inside. It's going to only look inside your draft folder, or right there, we can exclude templates like this, and boom, then all my templates are gone. Okay. So now it's only going to show documents that are outside my template folder and that are anywhere else in my project. Okay. So I can look at it here. I have book 1 that's to do, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, all these scene templates, etc. This folder right here, and then I automatically know what needs to be worked on. And I come here too. I can even see what's being worked on. So in this case, these 3 here, right? They're technically in progress. So I would move them from to do to in progress. And I could do the same thing for all of these. I could create a new list called in progress, like so. It'll show me all my in progress here, right? Save searches collection, in progress. We're going to delete this static list here. And then I could have all my statuses, all as collections, and then I could see where I'm at. I can see all my things that need to be done, everything that's in progress, first draft, revised draft, etc. Whatever I have set up here, I can have it set up as a collection. And so anytime I make a change here, it's going to update that here. And I use this frequently to come through and say, okay, what needs to be worked on today? Scene 3 needs to be worked on. Let's go ahead and double click that and get to work. Okay. And when I'm done, I can update that in progress. And you can see I can have this nice workflow going where I can automatically see what needs to be worked on. There's never a day that I come to my screen and I'm like, oh, what do I work on today? I always have something to work on. You can see that as a good thing or a bad thing. Rarely is there a day I'm looking at a blank page where I'm like, I don't know what to do. There's just always something to work on. So, and this makes that really obvious and really evident for me what needs to be worked on, what needs to be done. Does that mean I don't get stuck sometimes? Sure, I do get stuck sometimes, but at least I have a clear idea of what to work on and what needs to get done. Okay, guys. Well, that is collections in a nutshell. Let me see here if there's anything else I want to talk about regarding collections. Now, collections can be used in a lot of different ways. This is just one example of how I've used it. I've used collections to keep track of character arcs with labels and things like that. Oh, there's so many fun things you can do with collections. It's by far, hands down, probably my favorite tool in Scrivener. That once I discovered how to use it and once I learned how to use it, I just love it. But hopefully you find some use out of that. One thing I want to remind you is that you don't have to use every tool or everything I show you here today. Take the key points and do what works for you. Okay. Let's switch over back here and we will be on our way. Okay. Well, I just want to say every day I'm inspired by the passion and dedication of you writers honing your craft, and I love supporting you on your journey as authors, and watching your growth is truly a rewarding experience. So if you're looking for more resources and tools, I personally recommend be sure to head over to ogevinson.com/links to explore everything you need to take your writing to the next level. And if you're not already a part of the Turning Writers into Author community yet, please join today by subscribing to my insider newsletter and unlock exclusive perks like Scrivener tools, writing training, and my free Scrivener starter novel template. Of course, we have tons of great resources as well. We have our webinar library filled with events to get you started with Scrivener, user forum, user manuals, blog video tutorials, and so much more available at those websites right there, literatureandlatte.com and ogevinson.com/tools, and a full knowledge base. So I highly recommend you check out those tools. It doesn't matter where you start, just choose one, get to work, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay. Oh, and if you want to subscribe, there's my QR code right there. You can use that to get right into that newsletter. Okay. So now it's time. I'm going to open the floor for any questions we may have. Hopefully we have some popping up in there in the Q&A. I think I see a few, and I'm happy to address any of those we have. If you have any, if you're been waiting, now is the time to drop it in there. I'll get to them as many as we can. I think we're just about, yeah. So yeah, you're just about right. A little bit more. I usually like to spend this last 15 minutes in the Q&A, went a little bit over time. But thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead. If you have any questions we can't get to today, please use those email addresses listed on the screen. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Q&A and see what we've got. Okay. Let's close that out for a second and see. So Eric is asking, how do I get my session targets to show on my bar all the time? All the time. That's a good question. Let's see if we can figure this out. So I'm going to share my screen again. So Erica, when I open, first off, I wonder your session targets. Okay. So are you talking about this little target right here? So you have this option right here to click the target button, or are you talking about the progress bar? Because if you have this quick search bar here, the session target should show up right here on the bottom. Okay. And the draft target should kind of show up here at the top of the quick search. If you're talking about getting the targets here, it depends on if you're a Mac or a PC. How do you get that loaded up there? We right click on a Mac and click customize toolbar to drag and drop that tool on here like so. Okay. If you're on a PC, what you're going to do is you're going to go to file, you're going to search customize toolbar, and there's going to be a window that pops up similar to this, but it's not going to be a drag and drop. And you're going to kind of push things over from one side to the other and bring things on the PC in that way. I wish I could show that better on the Mac. Unfortunately, I can't. But if you are on a PC, let me know and we'll get you taken care of. Well, just send us an email. We'll get you in the right direction. Okay, so Michelle's asking, does the target word count only update in the draft folder? Does the target word count only update the draft folder? I'm trying to wrap my head around that question. Target word count. So are we talking about this guy right here? Only update. Let me see if I can find my chat too, so I can see if you guys are saying anything to me. Perfect. Michelle, if you're still with us, try to if you can let me know what you mean by target word count only. Uh, let's see here. Only only updates in the draft folder. If I type in the note section or elsewhere, does it update the target word count? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so if I type, let's look at that. Let's actually type in some notes right now. Okay. Type in some notes. Okay. So you can see nothing is changing here, right? So it's not going to update my target word count if I'm typing in my notes here. Okay. What it probably will do though is it will update in your writing history here of elsewhere words you have written. Oh, it looks like it. Total, maybe not. Hmm. I'll have to look at that one. But yeah, typically I can say for certain that these notes right here, notes here, they're not going to be counted towards the actual target here. Okay. It's only counting words that are in the draft folder, this guy right here. Okay. And so anything that's put in any folder or document in here, it's going to count towards this target right there, this manuscript target right there. Excellent. Sorry. Some of these questions, it's tricky. Half the time it's just trying to understand what you guys are trying to explain to me. So thank you so much for being patient with me. Okay, we'll do done. Done. Okay, so Lisa's asking how do you get a target setting for a scene again? Really easy to do. Let's look at that real quick. So this is for you, Lisa. Let's go ahead and just create a new document here. Now, assuming you're not using templates or anything like that, you're just creating a new scene right there. There's a little target in the bottom right corner here. Kind of hard to see, I know. We click that right there. It'll pull this up, and then we just set a target. Okay, and boom, now this document has a target. Simple as that. So bear in mind that what we're doing is we're adding a target to a document, and we're calling that document a scene. So if you wanted to, you could relabel this as a chapter, right? It's whatever you call it. But if you want to add it to a scene, you just create a document, call it a scene, or whatever it is you want to call it, and then you give it a target. Okay. Okay. See, Beth is asking how to set up the templates folder. Really easy to do. I'll show you just real quick how to get that done. We're just going to go ahead and create a blank project here. Give it just a second here. I shouldn't have closed that one out. There we go. Let's go to blank. Double click here. I like using the blank project because it doesn't have the template folder set up. So it's really easy to show how that's set up. First off, if you don't have one, we're just going to create a new folder right there. We're going to call it templates. Okay. You can call it templates folder, whatever you like. Go to project. Let's go to project settings. We're going to click special folders. And right there, it says templates folder. And it'll say no templates folder. Look, I already have, it's going to pop up the one I have. Typically, if you have a folder called templates, it's automatically going to try to bring that one up for you. We'll click OK. And boom, you can see that's changed now. That has become a templates folder. And if I were to add let's see, a chapter, or let's do a scene template here. You can see it has that little T there as well. Add a target, 750. Come back to our draft. You can see there it is. Scene template is now showing up. Just like so. Boom, done. Easy as pie. Actually, pie is not that easy. There we go. Okay. Catherine's asking, I'd like to know how to make the template sheet section from scratch. Okay, we got that one. Did it. I use a blank templates. Okay. Okay, so Michelle uses a blank template instead of a novel. We'd appreciate a quick demo of setting up document targets. Okay, I think we kind of covered that already. Let's see here, but we've already kind of got it started here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a chapter template like this, right? Boom, like that. We'll just drag and drop that inside like so. And boom, there we go. We have a chapter template now. Boom, just like that. And because it has a target already set up, it's already ready to go. And of course, you can add in other scenes. You might want to give some labels here saying this is a target for 750 words. You can differentiate between what they are. Ultimately, anything that comes in my draft folder is going to get a new name anyway, including my scenes. But it's just to kind of give me an idea of, so I know what I'm bringing into my project. Okay, excellent. Okay, answer that. Sorry, I'm just going through these. Okay, Nick, I think we just showed how to add a template, but just to show it again, if I once I've created a template here, it's really easy to do. I can either right click, add new from template like this. It's kind of a little bit longer way to do, but I frequently use that contextual menu to do that. I can also click the little add button up here and then just select it right there like so and bring it in. A couple of different ways we can do that. Oh, Sheila, I'm so sorry you couldn't see very well. Um, in the future, I'll try to increase that up so you guys can see that a little bit better. But ultimately, um, even if you can't see it, Sheila, you can rewatch this presentation. It's going to be posted. And you can slow it down, pause it, take breaks. Hopefully, that'll help you out in the future. Sorry, I didn't see that one sooner. What does negative counts refer to? That's a great question. So if we come back here, oops, let's see. I think that was here. Was it? Allows negatives. So basically, if we have allowing negatives, it means that we can, if we delete text, it's going to take away from our what do you got from our session target and things like that. So we could potentially, you may have saw that I had like a negative amount in one when I had deleted all that text. It was like negative 2,000 something because I was way under my target now, right? So you can turn that on or off. I mean, it just allows you to show if you're deleting text and adding text. Personally, I kind of like to have it off. I don't really want to know sometimes how much I'm deleting. I just want to know how much I'm adding. So, but that can be useful for your session target there to see if you want it to be a little bit more accurate. If you're deleting stuff and adding stuff in, you won't reach that target until you've deleted this, added more than what you deleted, right? Um, there we go. Let's see. I wonder if that's in here too. Let's see here. Let's close that out. Yeah, it's just there. Yeah. So hopefully that answers that question. How many questions we got left? Oh wow. So a lot of great questions, guys. This is great. So I know a lot of you have to jump out of here. That's perfectly fine. I think we're gonna go for. I'm gonna do probably like 2 or 3 more questions, and we'll call it a day. I love these questions. This is great. Let's see what we can find here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Screens. It's a good question. Let's see here. Oh, Tara, I see that. Looks like there was an issue on YouTube with the name. I'll get that fixed. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, let's see. Okay, Randy's asking, have Scrivener close the option of merging windows? I used to have several projects up at the same time and switch between them easily. So if you're on a Mac, it's pretty easy to merge multiple projects together. Go to View, and you click, where is it? Not View, Document, or is it Window? Hmm. Let's go to New. Let's open a recent project. Let's open this one up. Merge all windows. There we go. So we're looking for window, merge all windows, and it should just bring those together like that. Okay. That's how that one works. Is that what you're talking about, Randy? Let me know if that's what you're talking about. That's how we would do that. If you're on the PC, unfortunately, we don't have an option to merge windows like this yet. Hopefully, hopefully that'll do that. But we'll get that figured out eventually. But for now, for Mac users, you can go ahead and merge all those windows. You're going to have multiple projects as tabs here in a single view, which is really nice. Okay. good. We're looking good. I'm just going through to see if there's anything I missed. Okay, I'll get that fixed. So Gian says, I haven't really used the templates options as much as I wanted. It's a learning curve. I like all my outliner labels, status, color visuals, targets, and the layout the same for every novel. Is there a way to have a single template to customize for all things at once and select it for every novel? Yes, there is. There most certainly is. In fact, Gian, you may want to take your actual existing novel and duplicate it. So let me show you what I did when I created one of my when I started creating templates. Kind of built into some of these at one point. So what I did is let's go to my Finder here. Okay, let's find the project. Dropbox, apps, Scrivener, and I think the otter and the amulet. So I think, yeah, where are you? Right there. So what I did is I literally just right click and I went ahead and duplicated it. Okay. Or you could do a copy and paste, whatever you want to do. And then I changed the name and I cleaned it out. I took everything out of that project. Okay. I went through, I cleaned out everything. I kept all of my labels. I may have even changed like labels and things to different, like, I like to character one, character two. I looked at my drafts and things like this. You can see I have my different statuses here. I kept all that stuff the same and I just built the template around that. Okay, until I kind of got to like the barest bones, like the only the stuff that was essential for the next book, right? Or for the next series or whatever I was working on. Then I went to File, Save as Template. Okay. Now this one is too large. There's too much going on it. But I went to File, Save as Template, and I was able to create that template very easily, doing just that. And that's kind of how a lot of my templates began initially, before I started kind of cleaning them up and changing the styles a little bit. But essentially, that's how I began. I literally took a project I was working on, duplicated it, cleaned it out, and then made a template from that project. And that way, you can preserve a lot of the settings and things that are going on inside that project that you like, and you can then make tweaks to it too and say, okay, maybe next time I want to do this instead, and this time I want to do this instead, and you can make changes and improve it. And Nicole says, I do that when I want the same template on multiple computers I use on Scrivener. Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do, because one thing to keep in mind is that these templates, I do have to upload them to each device that I use Scrivener. So, yeah, my MacBook, I think, is missing one of these templates. I'd have to go and upload it and put it on, but I have it on my Mac, what do you call it? Mac Studio here. I have it on my PC out there. Technically, there isn't a new project window on my iPad, so I actually have a version on my iPad that I can duplicate and use again and again if if I happen to be creating from the iPad. So there we go. Yep, it's pretty easy to do once you know how to do it, and you can kind of make your own custom templates how you like it. Um, and you could even take some of my basic templates. You could start with my Ultimate Starter Novel template and then kind of modify it, change it, make it your own, and then save that as your own template. You know, own picture, own everything, whatever you want to do. So long as you just have something that works for you, that's all that matters. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So I think themes for a manuscript that has multiple themes. So Linda Gale's asking how she could use labels for themes for a manuscript that has multiple themes. Any tips for or tricks you could share about it? I mean, yeah, you could use labels for any number of things. I typically use them for character arcs because I have multiple viewpoint characters, and I like to see those arcs visualized as labels. But yeah, you could keep track of different themes and things like that. You could use collections. So you could actually I would actually probably use themes in keywords if I were you, because often there are multiple themes inside of a scene or a chapter, right? That are going on, kind of like a main theme, a sub theme, etc. You know, that are going on here. Okay. But sorry, give me just 1 second here. We go. There are multiple things that are going on there. So I would use a keyword so I can apply multiple keywords or multiple themes to a scene or chapter. And then I would then use collections to keep track of where those themes appear in my story. That's how I would personally handle it. Just because I can see myself being like, hey, there's more than one themes here, but I can only assign one label to a chapter or a scene at a time, but I can assign multiple keywords. Okay. And so that's what I would do. I'll briefly show how I might handle that. I might come in here, go to keywords. Let's go show project keywords. And I probably would just add in a keyword and I'll just call it themes. And then I would add underneath that theme. We'll just do theme one and then theme two, right? And I could give them, I could color code them, whatever I want them to be, right? And then I could then assign these to any section of my manuscript I want to, right? And that the nice thing about that is then I could come here, I could then make a collection like I showed earlier, and I could collect, let's see here, I could use the keywords here, search for that exact keyword, and then make a collection. Anytime I add that keyword to a specific document, a specific scene, it's going to show up in that collection, and I can see how the theme appears throughout my entire story, right? So it takes a little bit of work up front. That's the reason why I haven't done something like that, because it will take some more work. I'm going to have to actually consider the theme that is present in that, the themes present in the scene or the chapter, and I have to assign that keyword. It's not as automatic as I'd like, but it's still a good thing to do. It might be something I do because I'm more of a pantser while I'm editing rather than while I'm writing. Oh, Luz, I'm sorry to hear that. If you're having trouble for whatever reason you can't get my template, or you're having trouble getting my template, just send me an email at contact@ojevanson.com. Unfortunately, these email provider things are not reliable. Sometimes they just don't work. So just send me an email at my email address there. I'll get you taken care of, and I'll get you that template. Matt's asking, do I use the corkboard in my work? Most certainly, I do use the corkboard in my work. I do like the outliner a lot. I do use the corkboard a lot. Um, Oftentimes, I navigate through it like this. This is I use the corkboard for keeping track of character arcs. As you can see here in the arrange by label view, I can see my character arcs based by color. This is Ned here. I don't know if you can see that. This is multi-viewpoint. Oh, it's hard to see. Multi-viewpoint. Nira, Revelo, Ival. Yeah, I use it all the time. So, oops. Yeah. Gotta mix that up. Oh well. Won't worry about it now. But you can see, yes, I do use it quite regularly. Just for different reasons, I sometimes I outline it, sometimes I'm moving around, sometimes I'm just reading summaries and looking at like what it is, what's going on, what it's all about. I love navigating in the inside the corkboard like this, just turning off my binder and say, okay, here I am in draft 6. I can go to the prologue here. I can go back. I can go into part 1. Here's chapter 1, scene 1, etc. It's the kind of thing, because I'm very familiar with my project, it's really easy for me to jump around. Um, it takes some getting used to, right? As you may have noticed, I've been using this project for 5 years. So I'm really, really familiar with it. How do you do the color lines thing? So the color lines is the arrange by label view. It's right here at the bottom right corner. Okay. And it's based on the labels. Let's go back to the outliner. You can see all the labels here have been assigned. So Ned, Revelo, multiple viewpoints, Ned, Revelo, Ival, Nira, Ival. You can see, so all those characters, all those things have been assigned as I wrote them, as I wrote the novel. And so it's really, once I got those, as I assigned those, it's really easy for me to see now what that looks like in my corkboard view. If you can't see it in the bottom right corner here, it's just going to help arrange by label. Hit that so that it can help arrange my label right there. And it'll take you in and out of that view. Okay. So it's just a different type of corkboard view. If you're interested in learning more about the corkboard, I just did a webinar on that, I think like last month. Check out the webinar library. I go into depth into all that, the corkboard tools and how I use it and how it works and all sorts of fun stuff there. Yes. Okay, guys, I think I've gotten a bit over time. You've been giving me such good questions. I'm having a hard time wanting to stop. I'm enjoying this. Yes, so Brian, I think I have one webinar from a while back. It's actually one of my most popular videos on YouTube right now for mastering nonfiction books. It's not if it's more towards business and kind of general nonfiction, not towards so much like or it's like self help. It's sort of like general nonfiction kind of thing. It's not real academic. I had some academics ask me like, it's just wanting some academic stuff. It's not really an academic geared presentation, but it does kind of get the general gist for general nonfiction. So you should check that out. You can find that in the YouTube channel. You can find that on the webinar library. Either way is just fine. Okay, perfect. Okay, well, I think we've had some great questions today. Thank you guys for sticking around. And hope you got a lot of good information from this. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing here. Um, Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I'm glad you all enjoyed the presentation. You all are amazing. Thank you for attending. I know we covered a lot, but don't worry, you're going to be able to rewatch the replay here soon. So stay tuned for that. Let me drop that link again one more time so everybody has that. Uh, maybe if Zoom will let me drop it in here for you. Oh, nope, it's not going to let me. Well, anyway, just go to youtube.com, and just search me up. You'll find me one way or the other. Oh, there we go. Finally got it in there. You can see that there. You can see all the past presentations, things that are going on. So have fun with that. Let me stop sharing, pull up my last thing, and we'll be on our way. So as we conclude today's sessions, I just want to express my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for dedicating your time and energy to this webinar. Your participation has been inspiring, and I really mean that. You guys have done a great job today. I hope the insights and tools shared today empower you to elevate your writing craft using Scrivener. And please remember, our commitment to supporting your creative endeavors doesn't end here. Our team is always available to assist you as you explore and harness Scrivener's full potential. So stay connected with us and be sure to check out our upcoming webinar series. We have one more event this week, this Friday, Conquering Writer's Block. So check that out. I can't wait to share my knowledge with you. See you all next time. Write on and stay creative.